why is the war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one hurt. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all leave, gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world for all the night. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one tide, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright. Isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on the Shadow Chasing Show. I'm your host, Eric White Sky Cloud. Thank you, guys, good folks, for coming on in. Come on down. Anyways, yeah, we're just getting started right now. I'm very late. Apparently, YouTube don't like me too much. Keeps on saying, we can't find your camera. And then they'll say the chat room is not available. That's what they've been doing. I'm telling you. Anytime, folks, this is absolute truth. I'm always fighting with YouTube. Every time I'm trying to get show started, I'm trying to pre-plan, and I have all my stuff saved. ready to go in, and then next thing you know, they will not accept the fact that I was putting anything. I'm ready to put things inside that start to show up, and then they're going like, "Well, you can't do that. Can we not accept this? Don't accept that?" And then I just tell them to go kiss my butt. So, anyways, all I have to do is turn off the computer, restart again, and I'm here. So I'm back. I'm always here, folks. What can I say? I'm just a little guy doing a big job, or a big guy doing a little job. Either way it goes, I'm still who I am. And thank you guys for joining me both on the Facebook chat room as well as the YouTube chat room. And you'll see here, let me just swing you guys over here. I'm going to show you where it is. Here is my, I'll go this way. Dumb. Let's do this way. Let me get my little mousey out of the way. I'm going to turn you guys around and show you guys the screen. So I'm actually here on the YouTube as well. You can see right there the whole screen. And then I'm over here. And then I have another screen over here. You see? So I'm actually have triple screens. That's why I bring up the programs. And then I just slide them in here, drop them in there. And that's how I do it. So been doing this for a long time. And so anyways, I'm here. We actually made it. And let's see. Bill said I will hopefully get to some of the shows. I do a meeting on Thursday nights. Yeah, everybody's always busy doing something else. That happens all the time. That's normal. Man of many screens. Yes, I do. I have 3 screens. And the reason why, because if I want to do a show running off my screen, I can just show you off the screen, then I can just swing them in back and forth. It's much easier. I know some people only run off this little laptop or whatever have you. Me, I'd rather have a good homegrown desktop computer. So it's been going on for, I've actually had this computer. I have not done anything to it. I've had it since 1996. This was a factory built computer. All I do is keep on upgrading what's put inside, but the box is still the same. I haven't changed the box. And sometimes I have to micromanage some things around inside, but it's still around here. I'm still here doing my thing. Anyways, I'm actually here, folks, and thank you guys for being part of this. Those are just coming in the chat room late. It's not your fault. You're not late. It's me. Like I said before, as we spoke earlier that YouTube was not wanting to recognize my camera for the chat room. Also, when I finally had to make some changes, I had to switch everything all off and start from scratch again, turn off my computer, reboot. And then after that, when I had to reboot, they decided to tell me that there's no chat room. There is. All you have to do is just refresh your page and the chat room's there. They were just trying to discern me, or just just basically see if they can intimidate me. No, ain't gonna happen, folks. I get many ways to go live, no matter what it is. If it isn't Facebook, if it isn't not gonna be YouTube, I've got other channels to do. I have no problem with it. If push comes to shove, I'll use Telegram. If push comes to shove, I'll use Rumble. I still have I have both two more pages. If I'm going to try and see if I can get my program set up where I can combine all those channels, all those pages or pages, search and social networks, and channel them all at the same time. It's possible, apparently. I'm not sure about Telegram, if I actually recognize the file, but I'm going to try and see what I can do, because a lot of people in Telegram would love to see me do my show live. So actually, hang on a second. I have an idea. Just caught me in the torrent of it. That's the wrong one. Where are we here? Okay. I might be able to do that. Okay. I just dropped my... Now I have the True North Stronger free page. You'll see here, folks, I'll show you. This is my Telegram, and I have a page called True North Strong and Free. I just finished dropping that file into the True North. So if anybody's in who actually does have if they're a member of my page, True North Strong and Free on Telegram, join. If you guys are not on there, join, become a group member, and you get updated about all the things that are going on all across the world, which is worth your while. Because when you start seeing the things that are going on here all over the world, you'll be surprised. I mean, so some things, because basically what Telegram is about, to give you guys straight up, Telegram is mainly made specifically for freedom of speech. And so this is the reason why we have it. And there are so many people who have chat rooms. You could see here, and you'll see this little green thing, and it looks like it's actually going up and down, moving. That means this chat room's open. That means it's actually people are in the chat room, and you can join the chat room, which is Annie's Patriots. There's one called Freedom for All. One called Keep It Simple Genius. There's Boots on the Ground. There's ones in there somewhere. Q School Garage. If it's open, you'll see a green thing in the corner here. This is what you'll find out. So it's worth your while to join some of these chat rooms. If you've never been a member of Telegram, join up. It's worth it. Just download the app, and then you can look for me. I'm in this room over here. Let's see here. Here's where I am, right in here in the corner. And so you find me in there. And then so basically what I've done is I've made this chat room True North Strong and Free. And I've got about 580-ish people. It goes around 590, and then they go up and down, up and down, up and down. Most of the people that start to join the group, they think, oh, okay, I'm going to start sell this guy Bitcoin. And they think I'm going to start investing in Bitcoin. I'm not going to buy into Bitcoin. I don't need to buy in Bitcoin. It's not time yet. And what these guys are doing, they're the ones that are trying to sell you Bitcoin. They're trying to slough off their non-sales of their Bitcoin. They are having a hard time struggling trying to get rid of it because this particular type of Bitcoin is no good. So they're trying to slough it off so that they can get rid of it and make money off of us. It's almost like to me, it reminds me of a little bit of a multi-level market. If you guys know what multi-level marketing is about, that's exactly what Bitcoin is. Okay. You invest in that. Now, the original Bitcoin was owned by the Chinese, the Chinese Communist Party. They're the ones that started Bitcoin there in their country, but they used this Bitcoin for human trafficking a long time ago. That got stopped. Okay. That's the reason why people are kind of leery about not getting any type of Bitcoin for themselves, because they're afraid that something's going to happen. I don't blame you, really. So, yeah. So, okay. Teresa says that means even more now than before. True North Strong and Free. Yes. When I started out about 4 or 5 years ago, when I got Telegram, I probably had about maybe about 150 to 200 members. And then when people found out what I was sharing, that I'm actually, you like and share, and you want people to see what's going on across the world, locally as internationally. And I'm talking about major stuff. I'm not talking about your mainstream media stuff. This is actually surpasses mainstream media. Mainstream media lies to you. Okay. I work for an independent radio station, but I'm not mainstream media. Okay. We don't take the same news as these guys over there, and they're telling you what you have to say. We don't have to say that. We voice our own opinion by making decisions what we want to say or write as journalists, and we tell our own story. And that gets the public attention even much more. And mind you, I have been a little bit of a controversial person. I've gotten myself in trouble a couple of times, but not in a bad way, but I spoke out. And some of the people didn't like it because I tell them, know your facts before you start attacking me or going after me. Know your facts. Look up your research. I'll give you a little bit of research. I'll drop it in your lap, and you can actually make sure you have a look before you start to attack me or insult me, because you need to know the truth. Whether they decide to do it or not, whether anyone decides to do the research or not, you're going to find out. Eventually, you will find out in the end. Whenever anybody's talking about anything, whether it's in this country, United States, or part of the world, I'm talking about world events, anything. You see it all over on every social network, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, and there's a whole bunch of brand new ones besides Telegram and Rumble. There's a whole bunch of other new ones coming out now too. There's actually one called Social Network. There's some are really good, and some are like, TikTok right now was one of the most hottest pages to go to. If you want to get go-to news, it is TikTok. Right now, what TikTok's doing, they are using new community standards, telling people they can't say this and can't say that, and they're judging them. Number one, TikTok should never have the ability to judge you for what you want to put on your page, okay? But they are being judgmental, and the reason why they're being judgmental, because they're going far left. They're following the Democratic way. They're not letting the people have free speech. No, sure, you can do kitty cats and puppy dogs and crafting in there. Of course you can. Psychic readings, no problem. Healing stuff, selling program. If you got any craft you want to sell or display, or anything you want to show how you make it, and people go online, yes, that's good for you. You can make money that way. You can monetize. Myself, I don't monetize. I don't have to monetize. I'm trying to get people to follow me. I'm just showing people what's going on, because my version of helping people out is participating. Okay. If I wanted to monetize, if I needed money, I would have done it a long time ago. And no, folks, I'm not a monetizer. I'm not here to make money on this. To me, it's my freedom. I'm helping to show you what's really going on in this country and across the world. Whatever I see, and if I have to look it up myself to make sure this is factual stuff. I can't just jump in and say, oh, well, he said, she said. This is not my thing. This is not what I do. I like to see the proof. And so I'll go online and look for it. If it comes up quite often, and if I'm seeing whether it's on film or whether it's in video or whether it's on in the scripts, okay, any kind of scribings, then I'm in there. And I will look it up and I read it. And if there shows me that something here we need to share with the public, we'll do it. Because I'll tell you one thing, governments don't like us to tell the truth. They don't like us to show you what's going on. They're deathly afraid of us. Okay, they don't like it. So, for example, like non-vaxxer, I'll give you one here. He's telling the story right now. Let me try and bring this up here. He says, actually, this is from Elon Musk, and I'll bring this up for you guys to see here. There we go. And it says, to be clear here, this is from Elon Musk, the Verizon communication system to air traffic control is breaking down very rapidly. The FAA assessment is single-digit months to catastrophic failure, putting it air traveler safety at serious risk. Now, the Starlink terminals are being sent at capital N-O cost. So, capital N-O means he's not selling it to a taxpayer on an emergency basis to restore air traffic control connectivity. The situation is extremely dire. Starlink could replace Verizon, and the swamp is panicking. The FAA is on the verge of canceling Verizon's bloated $2.4 billion contract and handing it to you know who. Okay. So now you guys are beginning to see what's going on. And this is why I like doing this sort of work. Now you'll see here, there's many varieties of stories and columns that others will talk about. We've actually been talking about, they're bringing up right now, Elon Musk's, guess what? The flight list is out there. Woo-hoo! Yes, the flight list is there, folks. They're showing you names, and there's a whole large file of flight lists. It's not just one. There you go. See, guy says,
Epstein files. I'm here at the White House. I just met with Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and the President and the Vice President of the United States, Donald Trump, and J.D. Vance. today has been absolutely surreal. This is the power of new media. They're giving the Epstein files to influencers who supported President Trump and have stood by him, people who tell the truth to the American people. There's so much to tell you. All I can say is promises made, promises kept, and God bless America.
So now you guys see what they're showing here. Now we go in here. Look at this. They're raising the books. Look at that. Everybody got one. Epstein Files Phase 1. Okay. So it has become, it's time. Like basically I told people, and I tell people this, when they talk about the Epstein file, what the Epstein file is for is to show you who's on the flight list that actually basically caused all this trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking. Also we call the adrenochrome, those sort of things that have been going on, the elites, whoever is else involved. And there's presidents, not president, there's politicians, there's actors, actresses, singers, entertainers, people that are rich, multimillionaires, billionaires, whoever shows up on that island, okay, and participated not once, and even the royal families have been there. Yes, the royal families have been there. So, and they participated. They participated in all the things that I mentioned to you earlier. They've been there. Now, I do not know. No, your name's on, Keith, your name's not on the list. You're never there. Yeah, you're too small for them. They don't care. But it's important that you need to know, because this needs to be shared. And Trump, this is what President Trump has done. He wants you to see what really went on. And he wants to let everybody know how it all turns out. So here's how it has been mentioned. It says, "Dear Director Patel, before he came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims, names, and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to any request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in the possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. At 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to the Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how such information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will assure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation to why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and propose personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. Sincerely, Pamela Bondi, Attorney General, United States." So Now, you guys know this is not a game. This is for real. Um, and things have been going on. So, and there are many new people that I've noticed that have been picked up and being taken away. Like Mexico extradites 29 cartel leaders to the U.S. Tariff threats working. Okay. So, in question mark. DOJ, Jeffrey Epstein files released. And I actually, if you want to go on the website, if you want to see the files, there's listings of the files of the on the website itself. It's again, if you guys want to keep files of it. Oh, it's been crazy. I'm telling you, nuts, and crazy. So I think that's pretty well good. Now, I want to say this from a very dear friend of mine that passed away. This man, Jordan Maxwell, good friend of mine, I've known, and he was a sweetheart man of a man. I was there at this conference when he made this prediction. Okay, he made this prediction before Donald Trump even became president. I was there at this place, and you guys need to see something from this man before he passed away. Jordan Maxwell has been one of the hardest working, I guess you'd say, original person, I guess say how do you say it, who has exposed the elites and the bad guys for years, 60 years worth of research. So, and there's another fellow who actually is promoting his book, but I want to just basically share this just because, just regarding Jordan. I'm not the other guy. I'm not too sure about, but anyways, that's what I want to say.
Who was going to be our next president?
You've already got him. You've already got the next president. Trump will be the next president. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But it's going to really be very, very difficult because they are planning on some kind of an international movement against Trump. And there's no doubt in my mind about that. He's going to go through some terrible times because they are trying to overthrow him and get him out of office because they know that he knows what's going on and he knows who the enemy is, and they're trying to get rid of him because they know that the next election is going to be really tough. So I believe that we're going to see some terrible things happening soon.
Everything is hidden in a plain sight. Words, signs, laws. It is in front of your eye.
So basically what I'm trying to point out is that even Jordan himself passed away at the age of 82, even stated that Trump was going to have it the hardest. And this man has met many people, rich and poor, all over the world. He's shared his workshops and his exposures. He's one of the original whistleblowers of the world. He's been going on, like I said, he did this for 60 plus years of research. And when he was exposing more information regarding his research, there was somebody who trying to get him to meet up with him at a location, and Jordan was going to meet up with this person. When Jordan went to this person's place, he was detained as long as they could. And then when Jordan returned home, his house was emptied out. Everything was turned upside down, inside out, all the furniture, all his files, everything was taken, stolen. Okay. 60 years plus years worth of research, all his paper files, you name it. Guess who came in there and took it? We either think the other, the three digits, one or the other, they picked it and took it away from Jordan because Jordan had the truth and they were afraid of the truth being exposed. This is before Trump was president. So, like I said before, and Jordan always got warnings from a lot of the guys from deep state and told him he needs to come to his door and tell him it's best if you keep your mouth shut or something else is going to happen to you. Now, he had no family he had no kids in his life. He had no family, so he didn't have to take heed of their warning or kind of say, well, we're going to come and harm you, some of your family. He had nobody because, see, Jordan's last name was actually a pseudonym. It wasn't his real name. And that's what protected his family. And he used that name for over 60 years. He was told to change his name, by extraterrestrial people, extraterrestrial friends. They're the ones that got him to do this. Okay. They wanted Jordan to share the truth, what's going on this planet. These are extraterrestrial beings, and they look like you and I. And one of them the one fellow who actually was talking to Jordan, who actually met Jordan when Jordan was 19, this man came up to him who was a general of a military. Okay. And he was an extraterrestrial being, and he was not from here. Okay. Not from this planet. He was from elsewhere. But in the meantime, they chose Jordan to be the next whistleblower. And Jordan never came to harm. They made sure that he was protected. And even that, like I said before, people used to come to his door and he would say, look, you can do all the screaming, yelling, can complete all you want. He says, but you can't stop me, because the ones up above are the ones got me to do this. And so if you're going to try and stop me, they're going to come and get you guys first. And guess what? They backed off. So the only way they can figure to stop Jordan is to lead him away from his home. And they basically scooped up all his years of research. Now, did Jordan feel bad about this? Yes, it hurt his feelings that he lost everything. But Jordan kept on going. He kept on sharing information that was up here. Everything that he knew was up here in his brain. And he kept on sharing that for many more years to come until comes time. Jordan knew when it was his time to leave. But that was one of the most final exposure of research that he wanted to say the last interview. And I was there, and I was in Laughlin, Nevada, there with Jordan. I was one of the speakers there. So when Jordan shared this, and he also got Jordan got a Lifetime Achievement Award. And actually it was a silver statue of a UFO. It was really cool. And he was the first to receive one of those, and it came from the UFO Mega Conference. Bob Brown was one of the people that put it together, but not just him alone. Many guys, the people that are part of the board, and they encouraged that I come down, participate, and tell my story. They wanted me there for some reason. I was pushed to come. Jordan Maxwell was there. Daniel Brinkley was there. Johnny Enoch was there, and many others that again was their time to be there to bring the shine of light of the truth, what's going on in this world. This is before even the Big C ever started. This is before that, but we were all prepared what was going to happen next. For some reason, we're going like something's going to happen. We just know it. We weren't sure what it was. We knew, we were just waiting. Now it became what it was. It shut things down for a while. Now we're back again. And as you'll know, this past year, when Trump came back as the president, they were supposed to expose and share the information about UFOs, and also the UFOs that actually are underwater. And that's been exposed now into government. They're sharing, and now they have to release information. All this is coming to the surface, folks. Why all of a sudden all is coming to the surface? Because it's time. Everyone has to know we are not alone on this planet. We have never been alone on this planet. There are other beings that have been living underground for thousands and thousands of years. There's underground cities that are way down below, past the underground cities from under our city. They're way down below, that are all based on extraterrestrial beings. They've been here for a long, long time. But those special tunnels, you don't even dare to go in there. If you try, then they'll just basically they'll disarm you, because they're far more advanced in their weapons. But they won't bother you, because they are here specifically to live here. They've been born here and been living here for all this time. Okay. When will this be mainstream media? When this be mainstream? It has already started. In some place it has already started. We're just waiting for some of the beings to come forward and say, okay, here's where we were living, and you see us on our ships. But there's other ships that are on the skies that are not belonging to extraterrestrials. They're belonging to human source, because they've been reverse technology. They've been actually flying saucers in the sky since the 50s. So sometimes you're going to see what the military has been using for the longest time. And even before the military, American military, was the Germans. And they actually were reverse technology and doing the same thing. And at what we understood, that even Tartarian has all to do with space age. They've been involved in that for hundreds of years, long before us. And they got depleted. I don't know how or who it was that tried to shoot down or basically just destruct Tartaria, where we have to start over again. I don't know what their plan was, why they plan on doing it, but all I can say is this, that there has been the influence of the Orsinis, which actually are the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and also other groups of people have been around for many, many generations that are trying to shut down what's going on here. But they're all, because I've got some pictures and videos of old videos of UFOs laser shooting other cities in the Tartarian era. Now, we don't know if that actually was extraterrestrial beings shooting at these buildings, or these were other people that are trying to take control of Tartarian. We don't know. I'm not sure about that one. I'm still learning more information regarding that. But Tartaria actually is part of the Antarctica. Okay, it's been there for the longest time. And why is the military protecting it, keeping it from allowing us to go there? Because it's an underground, not just an underground city, but it's a city in its own. There's castles there. There's all kinds of wildlife. There's even, what I understood, there's even dinosaurs still there, dragons. There's all kinds of beings that we call mythology that actually did exist or do exist. They're still there, but they're living amongst mankind. And I remember years ago, there was a lady by the name of Ruth Montgomery. Ruth Montgomery. That's the actress before that, Ruth Montgomery. Ruth Montgomery actually stayed in her writings. And I read her book many years ago, back in the 90s. In her writings, she said that there'll be the return of the dinosaur. And she also said that the dinosaurs did exist at the same time, and the dragons did exist at the same time as mankind, not ape. We were actually living amongst the dinosaurs. In fact, they said the Stegosaurus, for example, was actually used to pull a wagon for farmers. The Brontosaurus, the tall, long necks, were used to be ridden on like a horse, where the giants were sitting on them. Giants. That was their form of a horse. So there are paintings of this that goes way back to the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th century. Why and how are they able to know all this? But again, people saying, oh, well, anybody could paint that, or, oh, that's all AI. This is long before that, folks. Get over it. Stop thinking about this AI crap. That came long later. It isn't with us now. So let's see here. Let's bring that down. So, like I said, now what I want to bring up too, many of us spiritual dreamers are attacked more often than lately from other dimensions, and why? Is it because that we are becoming ready for the new awakening daily, or is it me, or is it many religions attacking each other over the line? This because there's a becoming of the second Christ. The Christ Jesus is on his way. Now, we don't know the date, can't figure the date out. When no one will ever know the date. But the one thing I want to bring up is I've been having crazy dreams, and I'm talking about let's see here. And I hate to call them dreams or visions. Actually, I've had them during the daytime. I had seen, I'm not sure if I shared this with you folks before, but I'm going to bring this up. down the hallway. I was sitting in my office right here as I speak to you guys, and I don't know, somehow I must sit here and I just meditated. And next thing you know, I saw myself turning this way backwards towards the doorway, and that doorway has a hallway. And when I looked up, I saw a little girl, and she appeared to be her coloring. It looked like she was actually in a colored film, like a CinemaScope film from the 1940s or 50s, but she was in all color. And I seen her, and I'm trying to talk to her, and I'm kept on going. I'm trying to speak, and my mouth wouldn't move. I'm just like, I'm reaching out, I'm waving at her. She waved back to me, but for some reason, my voice cannot be heard. Like I couldn't get my voice to talk. So I thought, okay, I am going to try find some other means of ways to communicate with her. I'm just getting desperate. Like I wasn't upset, or when I was upset, but I wasn't scared. So then what happened was the little girl actually transitioned. She changed. She changed from a little blonde girl to a light brown haired girl, different girl. And they kept on looking back down the hall, and down the hallway was light. Like you could see as if they're coming through a hollowed tunnel. They're coming out of a tunnel, so to speak, but they're coming down there and they're looking back, but they're seeing me. And then that little brown haired girl, she walked back, she disappeared. And then 4 other children came forward. Another 3 little girls and a boy. But I'm sitting there going like, oh my God, all these kids are coming. Now, these kids, when they were wearing period clothing. This is from, I would say, early 1920s, maybe 30s, period clothing back then. Their clothing, what they wore, was not like what we wore today. Not what we wear today. But again, I saw these kids and I'm going like, why am I seeing these kids? And I realized after, and I asked Spirit this, is why am I seeing them? They said, because they want me to learn to see them, because they'll make their appearance. Okay. They're making their appearance, and they want me to see them so then I can describe the children or any really, I was more of a test, so to speak. So I can describe them to the person who the recipient is, the person who's actually lost a loved one. So I'm describing them because they're going to start to appear before me in the room when I'm reading people, which I'm going like, are you kidding me? Like, wow, thank you. Like I was totally shocked. So I was excited. Then last night, early hours of this morning, I was restless. I couldn't sleep in bed. So I went to the living room and I sat on my lazy boy chair, so to speak. It pops back and grabbed my blanket, threw it over myself. This is around 6 a.m. And all of a sudden I can hear audibly as if there were a bunch of women cackling. Like there was, I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about like witches type of cackling witch. And my name was mentioned. And they were trying to scare me. Now, for some reason, I didn't budge, but all of a sudden they said something. I don't know what their incantation was. I have no idea what it was. But all I could feel, all of a sudden, half my lower part of the body was getting really cold. And they go like, what the heck's going on here? I can't get warm because I get a very warm blanket, but I can't get warm. I'm from the upper part of my legs down, like really, really cold. And I thought, okay, that's it. I'm done. So I called for the blood of Christ to help cleanse and purify my home and to protect it and to stop what's going on from being attacked. So I did my prayers and I did that. And a matter of I would say about 10 minutes, all of a sudden it got quiet. But as I'm saying these prayers, I can hear them screaming and yelling as if they were scared, like as if they were running away. They couldn't get in. So here's the thing, folks, and I'll give you guys a bit of a heads up. There are a lot of people out there right now practicing bad stuff to harm others. There's people out there that are doing good stuff, that are trying to help others. We need to strongly, supportedly supportively, support each other. But if you ever feel that you have someone like that is going through something similar to like that, because right now there is a major racial, sorry, not racial, a major religious war going on right now. And you'll start noticing, and I'm sure you guys have been watching it on many different channels, whether it's TikTok or Instagram. You'll see a lot of these countries now, whether it's Muslims or whoever it is, they're making these major attacks and attacking people. And there's a fight and debate between Jesus and their Muhammad, how these guys are arguing, and they're fighting amongst each other. Okay, now it's a face to face. So what's happening is that now the Muslims, there's more people coming in, and now they're trying to recruit kids from schools, even here in BC. They're trying to recruit kids to be basic. These kids are not recruiting to become Muslim. They're recruiting them to go to war, to hurt people. So it's getting worse. So this is what Jordan Maxwell had said. It's going to get worse before it gets better. He says the last war will be over Jesus the Christ. It'll be over Jesus, and they're trying to wipe out his name. And that's why the schools won't mention him. If anybody walked up to you and say, do you know who Jesus Christ is? Or have you ever talked, do you know who, and then all of a sudden people would just like freak, like, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like, really? So, but if you talk about something else, another type of religion, oh, well, yeah, and they'll talk away. Now, I have no disrespect to anybody else what you practice, folks. It has nothing to do what you do or what I'm trying to point out. What I'm pointing out is we need to take the violence out of it, because you're not going to resolve anything. We're going through what's called a spiritual warfare. Thank you very much. We're going through a spiritual warfare. And this is right now is the time. This was predicted in the Bible. It's been predicted in the timelines. And I will bring up timeline for a reason. Even Nostradamus predicted this. Okay. That there'll be a great, there's going to be different versions of people now trying to remove Jesus, even his name, out of, and making it illegal to mention his name. They're trying to get governments to even pass these laws. There are more gay and lesbian LGBTQ churches starting now. There's actually not just churches now. They're bringing up, now they want to do these they want to do dog churches where people will dress up like dogs and call that a religion. They want people to start up all these other satanic churches, and they want them to overrun our country, like saying, oh, well, Satan's better than God. No. So they're trying to make this as if we have to be afraid, or trying to intimidate us for who we follow. Okay. Now, I want to give you guys a bit of a quick story about me. When I was a kid growing up, I never went to church. I was just a kid. My parents were too busy working, living, surviving to make a living. They didn't have the time to be in church or go to church. My dad, he baptized us, I was baptized English Anglican, but that was it. Same with my sister. But that was it. I didn't go to the Anglican church. Didn't have interest in it. My mother never had interest in it. My mother always told me, she says, your church is at home. Your church is here. If you want to pray, you pray at home. You don't have to go anywhere to dress up to please people, to see if they want to start to see look what she's wearing, look what he's wearing. I mean, if you want to gather together and meet like-minded people, that's fine. Nobody has any big deal about that. They're not, nobody really cares how you dress. I mean, a lot of farmers at times, some farmers were poor. They only dress up whatever they could, but they still come to church if they could, because they're asked to. Because anybody who didn't go to church, then the next thing, this pastor shows up at your farm and you go like, sir, you haven't been to church, and you should come sometime. You're just too busy working. Okay. You're not, even though you as a farmer, you do pray for your animals to heal. You do pray for your kids to do well. You do your family to do well. You're doing your own prayers. But according to these labeled white-necked collared people, they think that you're not doing enough, that you have to be up front and be displayed, in the building. And that's not what it's about, folks. We are humble people, and I don't push people into telling you what God tells you what to do. It's up to you to guide and walk your path you walk. I know who Jesus is because I've seen Jesus twice in my life. As a kid growing up, when I was 8 years old and 16, I saw him at my home in the garden where I was working outside in the garden, and he appeared before me there. I remember seeing this beautiful long beam of light coming down from the sky. The sky was clearly blue. There was no clouds in the sky. It was all sunny sky, and the sun was over here, but there's a beam of light coming down here. And as I'm looking down, I look up, and there he was, like right there. And he knew my name, and everything he knew about me was there. I'm 16. But when I saw him, my heart pounded in a way of, I knew it was him, because you just know there's that certain loving, unconditional loving energy that he's given you and showing you and sharing with you. And his words were, you can come home now. You don't have to stay anymore because you've already done your time here. You don't have to stay any longer if you don't want to. My answer to him was, I want to stay. I wanted to stay because I wanted to see the future. I wanted to see the space age. That was my request. And his answer to me was this. Okay. He says, I'll call upon you when I need you. Can you help me? I said, yes, I'd be honored. So I did. When it came my time, I didn't, as a young man growing up, I really had no idea what I wanted. Sure, I was on the farm, but I left the farm when I was 19, 20 years old. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to explore the world. And I created a whole kinds of jobs I wanted to fulfill and dreams, the things I wanted to do. And I enjoyed it. But I still was trying to find me where I fit. But one of the most fun and entertaining thing I've always loved to do is music. I love to entertain people with a microphone in my hand. I love to, whether I'm on stage entertaining you while I'm singing, or or entertaining you behind a mixing machine with records and spinning music. And that's what I did. I did it for the longest time. Then I was asked to be part of a radio station, CFR. I worked at CFUN 1410 and CFRO. I mean, really good. And then I had my own shows, and I keep on. I'm still doing this. I'm enjoying it because I love to entertain the public. But I really wanted to get out there too, let people know what's going on across this world, because there's a lot of us, yes, out there. And we're all doing podcasts. We're doing journalistic stories. People, whether they're on the road, beating on their feet down the road, doing their thing. You're on the street, and you've got your microphone out there, and you're recording the people, or you're at home in the studio doing the research, pulling something up that you don't see in the street, and you're bringing up all that information. So I'm that person. I'm actually in my studio doing the research, looking for those stories, so I can share these with you to show you what's going on in this world. So I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm here to show you what's going on, what we need to see, because we are begin to fall out of our own path. A lot of us are. Yes, we're still trying to focus and try and find a way how we can survive and live, because sure, the economy is crap, but who made it crap? Not us. Because we allowed the corporate governments to tell us what to do. We chose them, or if we did not vote for them in, we don't even have to vote for them. They were electively chosen to play the role as the I guess we say defunct leaders, because all they want to do is to destroy the economy, to make us feel that they're like the royal families. When the farmer does start picking up and his crops are doing so well, then he's celebrating and enjoying himself, and we're going to do well today. We're going to sell our crops and our grain. We're going to do well, and we're going to be fine. But what happens is when the royal family finds out that you're going to do fine and that you're happy, they'd begin to seize your land and to say, oh, you can't have this. This is the Queen's land, or this is the King's land. You can't have this because this is not your land, but we're renting it to you. That means now you got to pay shares of the crops. That means you're going to pay a percentage of actually being allowed to grow the meat, or to raise the meat, raise the animals, to grow the grains, and you got to give them money back. That's mafioso stuff. Okay, and that mafioso turned itself into the 21st century a credit card, because you're doing the same thing. You're buying something and you're paying interest rates. That's what your royal family was doing to you. You're paying interest rates of the land that you are not even owning. It's not even your land. They're letting you use it, even though you say, I bought this land. No, they own it. Unless you're sitting on crown land and you actually use a different type of law that protects you, then you're protected. But if you don't follow that type of law, then you don't get it. It's not even yours. Okay, because anybody who's and again, these people that take it from you are corporate companies. They're not even a law. They make their rules as they go along, and then they hire the police. They're called the policy officers. They're not police officers. They're called policy officers because they're corporations. You guys get it? Policy. You have a policy, and if you defunct your policy, then they're going to come and get it. And that's exactly who they are. They're not real police officers. They're policy officers. The real true officers are the military. They or the sheriffs or the marshals, because they're the true officers, not a policy officer. A marshal is not police. A sheriff is not a police. They are totally separate. They are there to fix and to follow the laws of the land, and whatever goes wrong, we have to be responsible for it. Okay, let's see here. Let's do the chat. Look in the chat room a little bit, guys. Let's see. Okay, like Jesus must be in the world, in heaven the white people are a minority. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And no blood in Jesus. We've had enough blood on our journey. Yes. Yeshua's a brother. Okay, God, Jesus, you guys are just talking away. You're enjoying yourself in that chat room. Okay. Yes, thank you, Linda. You loved Linda. Yeah, Jordan Maxwell. I mean, I love the guy dearly. You saw the military police yesterday, Tina. Cool. See, I told you they're coming. They're actually, we will have martial law here on this land. And your policy officers won't be here that long. They'll be shunned, set aside. They'll be given an opportunity. They'll be looking at what they're going to do is they're going to look at all the records of the policy officers, and if they have not a good record, they won't be able to carry on as an officer. They'll be removed from their position. Okay, and and if there's any other officers that want to be part of the military or marshal or sheriff, then that's exactly where their position will be, but they'll never, ever, ever be any more policy officers again. They're gone. Trump never, even when Trump became president, he never, or re-elected as president, he never swore in with his hand on the Bible, because he didn't want to swear in on the corporation, because he already signed that he's no longer a corporation. Same with John Kennedy Sr. did that. He never put his hand on the Bible under corporation. He became an independent. So basically, he's a new republic, and he's doing 1776. That's why in Canada, we are under the 1776 in Canada as well. We're under the our land that we stand on is on United States. We're in the still alignment of the United States. So it was 1867 that we were under the dominion with the United States. It was actually registered in Washington, D.C. It wasn't registered in Ottawa, nor was it registered with the royal family. Our country was registered in Washington, D.C. You got to know this, guys. We were registered as a country or a state under Washington, D.C. in 1867. Had nothing to do with England, not even under Ottawa. Okay, look it up. I'm not kidding you. So we will be considered as a 56 or 51st state. Eventually, it will be announced because you're going to see the truth, and that was kept hidden. The Queen did not want, or the royal family did not want you guys to know the truth. And also, in 1972, you guys need to know this. In 1972, England was bankrupt. The royal family were bankrupt. Okay, so what happened was that the Rothschilds and Rockefellers said, here's the deal. You need to, we'll cover your debt, but now you have to start bringing in the Rothschilds and Rockefellers in your families and to have children. So basically, any time that like Charles or anybody in the families since 1970, was it 19? I take it back. Not 19, 18. Is it 1867? I think it was 1876. The Rockefellers and Rothschilds were called the Orsini's, actually, were the Orsini's. They're the ones that the deal was made that they were going to take over the royal family. So basically, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, or the Rothschilds themselves, they were the royal family. They were the real true leaders of the royal family. The Queen was just a figurehead. Okay. They paid the Queen, they paid the royal family's debt. They were bankrupt. They had no money. So your Rothschilds and Rockefellers were also the Orsini's. Okay. They just changed their name, but they actually were the Orsini's, which actually are the almost where we consider them one of the most powerful leaders of the world. And which also goes back into the Vatican. Okay, so it goes far back, way far back. So that's why Trump is stepping in and taking that power away from them. That's why he's saying enough is enough, because in 1776 the Orsini's weren't involved. They couldn't get in. And so, but anything after 1776, they tried to incorporate it, to control it. So you'll start learning more about it after. But before 1776 actually was considered as a new republic. This is where Abraham Lincoln was the true leader under the 1776. So a lot of things to think about, folks. Okay, let's see here. Okay, why and how are there so many religions attacking each other over the second coming of Christ? Sounds like to me, like I said before, I wrote down there, what Spirit showed me this. It sounds like Star Wars has begun. May the Force, God, be with you. Okay, this is like Star Wars. We're going through this. Here's your Luke Skywalker. Here's your, who's Darth Vader. Name names, guys. Come up with the names. Who's Darth Vader? Who's Solo? Who's all these guys? This is exactly what's going on. We're having actually called a Star Wars now of 2025. Who or what country are we living in? Okay, we talked about it already. Canadian tariffs, is this something to cry about, or is it going to help us in Canada? Do we remove all the American goods off the shelves so we can put the companies out of business, and why? Here's the problem. Here's the mistakes most people do. Okay. These companies that decide to take American products off the shelves in stores right now as we speak, they're thinking they're going to do Canada a favor. You guys don't realize what you're doing. You're putting mom and pop businesses out of business. A lot of somebody actually came up with the idea saying they want to do a boycott day, boycott all American owned companies in Canada for a day at the end of February. I think they're talking about February 28th. They want to boycott the country of all American companies and corporations. Well, let me tell you what's going on. Here's what you're going to boycott for that 24 hours. You're going to boycott Walmart. You're going to boycott Costco. You're going to boycott Superstore. You're going to boycott Save On Foods. You're going to boycott Tim Hortons. Yes, it's American owned now, folks. You're going to boycott almost every restaurant. It's all mostly American. A&W, Dairy Queen, KFC, Taco Time, Taco Bell. All those companies are American owned. You're boycotting 85% of businesses, even Home Depot, Staples. These are London Drugs. Okay. Safeway. You're putting them all out of business. You're going to boycott all these American companies, American-owned businesses. Why did they move here? Why did they decide to buy out people? Because they already knew that Canada was going to merge at the end of March to become the 51st state. They were prepared. If you look at your Canadian Parks website, folks, they don't call it a provincial park anymore. It is called a state park. All of your parks in Canada now are called state parks. They're not called provincial parks anymore. Look it up. They're coming right through, folks. You're basically putting all yourselves. You think you're doing these companies a favor, because you want to get back at Trump and you're going to boycott stores. It's not Trump's fault. The person you want to go after is your dumb ass Trudeau and his Liberal Party. Okay, he's the one that has been carbon taxing you guys like a crazy ass, you name it. He also even Trudeau admitted to Trump that our country's going bankrupt. Why? Because Trudeau handed all of our money over to the Ukraine to carry on a third world war. Trudeau wants to go to war, and he wants to go to war with Ukraine to go after the Russians and China. He just handed over more billions of dollars to the Ukraine to get more firearms. He wants us in Canada to hand over all of our firearms to the Ukraine. And he also wants us to join the Ukraine in their military to go after them, to go after the Russians. Why? The Russians own the Ukraine. It never signed over. In 1985, they never signed the deal that Ukraine actually is its own country. It never was. It belongs to Russia, always has. So basically, Zelensky is not even a president. He too is just a governor. Think about it, folks. He's only a governor of the Ukraine. He's not even a real president. He's just there to pretend to be. Putin actually is the real leader. So, and yet Trudeau doesn't want to hear that. The only way another reason why Trudeau wants you to join these groups and to be part of the Ukraine is because it makes him money. He's invested in the Ukraine. He's also invested into human trafficking, because there was 28 silos of children in the silos, and there was over, 3,000 kids taken from Russia, stolen from Russia, and they were going to sell these kids. And so Putin came back into Ukraine and went to those silos and rescued all the kids and brought them back home. And what did Zelensky do? He put a bounty. He wanted to put a bounty on Putin and to go after him, saying, "You stole my kids," but they weren't her kid. He weren't his kids. See? And why are the children in the silos? That's a prison. What? So Ukraine actually was human trafficking. And so, and then also too, they're running low on soldiers in the Ukraine. So now they're grabbing their own people off the street, their own citizens, and forcing kids, children, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, to be in the military. And the parent, if the parent says, no, you can't take my son, they beat the parent up and they grab the kid. That reminds me of the old British way or the European way. They would come and collect your child to become part of a military coup, military group. They've been doing that for centuries. Look at the history of this, folks. Turkey did this. They were grabbing kids off the freaking out of their villages to get them to join the forces, and they trained them to be warriors, to go and kill people. Okay. Also, Zelensky, or actually not Zelensky, Krista Freeland, she's related to the Ukraine people. I mean, she's Ukrainian, yeah, but she's also a double agent. Okay. Soros, she's related to Soros. She's also related to her uncle is cousin to what the hell is to Klaus Schwab. Okay, Klaus Schwab's a brown shirt to Hitler. Get it? Always has been. Soros was a brown shirt for Hitler. Brown, what do you mean brown shirts? Brown shirts means that he was a young German recruiter for the Nazis when the Nazi war was going. He was a recruiter. Both of them were recruiters. Why do you think he made this uniform at the World Economic Forum? Why he wore this uniform? To look like as if he's the leader. We're going to go to war. We're going to control the people. Look at it, folks. It's like Star Wars. He's the Darth Vader. Except he didn't wear put a mask on his face. Look at it. Think about it. It's the same freaking type of uniform as Star Wars. This is what he was doing. And these people that are part of the World Economic Forum, do you know how many people that went down there that were politicians from Canada that were there to support the World Economic Forum? Chrystia Freeland. Okay. Justin Trudeau. Mark Carney, he's one of the major leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mark Carney is still registered with them. He says, oh, no, I quit. No, you didn't. You're still registered with him. You always will be, because Mark Carney said in his own words, I'm here to destruct the countries. He screwed the England. He's screwed the British. He actually bankrupted that bank. He's actually was hired specifically to destroy your governments. Okay. He'll never get elected in. Okay. Nobody wants him to be elected in. He hired a whole bunch of people to put signs up there. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was all fake. Nobody wants Carney in here because everybody knows Carney, what Carney's history is. Mark Carney has never been even elected as a politician. He's coming in as a second to Justin Trudeau. So Justin Trudeau chose him. Do you know that Justin Trudeau, that actually Carney is our country's financial advisor? Well, guess what he's telling our financial advisor, telling Justin Trudeau what to do? Hand all the money to the Ukraine. Oh, here, hand the money over there. Give the money over there. Give the money over there. You guys ever looked at the our Canadian version of where all of our money is going to, all our tax dollar money is going to? Out of the country, is going into other countries for what? Research. In the millions, in the billions. All of our money is going to research for what? It has nothing to do with our country. They're just researching something stupid because they want to get rid of the money. They don't want us to have money in our country. They want to bankrupt us. They've been doing it for such a long time. Like I said before, from the whole beginning of this whole show, what our country is doing is trying to depopulate us, as in that we can never survive unless we learn to take the bull by the horns and start to stand up for our own selves and work together as a community, and to start working with people, our next door neighbors, and help them and support them, what they need to know, what they need. Okay. Grow your own vegetables, because right now Trudeau wants to stop all the farmers from actually having farms. He wants to license them. And also he wants to control the livestock. And all of a sudden they go like, oh, guess what? We have bird flu. Oh, we have bird flu. We have bird flu. We got bird flu. We never had bird flu. Now they're going after people up in the Kootenays to destroy all the ostriches. There's 300 ostriches in an ostrich farm. These ostriches don't even have any bird flu because they're not originally known as birds. They're actually a different type of bird. They're a different kind of animal. They walk like a bird, but they're not a bird. Anyways, what the government's doing, even though the ladies should not have had, there's not one bird actually had the bird flu. But because they said, well, the bird died, and the next door neighbor was the one who hates the ostriches. He actually called the guys from the bird flu organization to destruct the birds, to have them all killed. He demanded, I want them dead. I want them dead. I want them dead. He demanded them. So the next door neighbor is your trouble right there, is your problem right there. Instead of him approaching to the lady who owned the ostriches, here, we found a couple of your birds over here. Can you fix that? No. He had to go phone it in. And what they do, these guys showed up in hazmat suits. I got videos of it. They all showed up in hazmat suits. We're going to kill them all. We're going to shoot them. Not gas them. We're going to shoot them. Why? They're not sick. What the hell's going on in our country, guys? This is here in British Columbia and BC. In the Kootenays, they want to go and kill the ostriches. Now, I don't know what happened after that. And they're all wearing, the hazmat suiters are wearing the masks, 3 freaking masks all over them, and they're all dressed up. And then they're telling the owner that she has to wear a mask too. What the hell for? Oh, because the birds have bird flu. We don't know that. You know what I mean? I'm not kidding you guys. And then we have a farmer out here in Abbotsford who had 200,000 chickens. Now, he already had a bird flu story. He already lost another 250,000 before, when the first time the bird flu was supposed to have gone through a couple of years before that. Those were killed. What does he do? He panicked again. One bird dead. He called the guys again to come down there and check and see if the bird had bird flu. Then said, oh, they looked at it and went, yeah, they got bird flu. Okay, we need to kill them all. So what they did, they come out of their car and they gassed all the birds. Find out later, not one bird was sick. One bird died, and they made an opinion. And that farmer is stupid. You should never be a farmer. You should never be a chicken farmer if you don't know your health techniques with chickens. If you can't figure it out for yourself, you don't call basically a destructive organization that destroys people's lives. I'm not kidding you. This is absolutely ridiculous. So now it's just not this. Like they actually killed here in BC. Fauci's people came out here and wiped out over 1.5 million chickens and turkeys and ducks and geese. Now they want to go after the cattle and the sheep and the goats, and they want them to be removed. They're saying, oh, well, the bird flu now is going to go to these animals, and now we're going to check them further. You guys need to understand one thing. Those dipsticks that you've been shoving up your nose was already laced with the big C. They lace it ahead of time. So they shove it in your nose, and all of a sudden now you got it. Or they'll say, oh, we pull it out. Oh, yes, you do. You got it in the arm. They do the same thing with the animals and the birds. There's, if you look up the history of bird flu, 50 years ago, it never even existed. Ever. H1N2, H1N1, H1N5. Why did they give it a number and a name? Because it was invented. It was created to make it happen. You don't invent a number and a number and a letter and call it a virus unless they make it a virus. It's called registry. H1N5 now it's a registered number as being the next bird flu. Now, even Dr. Fauci even said this. He intends to start it again. He wants to do his next step is to, and actually Bill Gates even said this. The next goal is to wipe out the cattle, to take the cattle out, and also the pork. Now they're not really worried about pork, cattle, lamb, and sheeps and goats. They want to take them out completely. Okay, but cattle first. They want to make sure that all the cattle get the vaccination. No, you don't. You put the vaccination in the cow's going to put it in the milk, and now we're going to get sick. And they're going to get it worse. That's their goal, is to basically pass it on from animal to human. Think about it. I used to be a farmer. I'm not dumb. If a cow gets mastitis, if you guys don't know what mastitis is, when the cow gets mastitis, it's an infection in the tubes inside the teats of a cow's bag. That means if somehow the cow bangs herself in the bag and it creates lumps inside, it's like a woman. If a woman gets hit in the chest with a fist by accident, she can also have mastitis too. That gets fixed. You put penicillin in it, it starts to get better. Within a matter of a couple of days, you're getting better, and then you're fine. But in the meantime, you don't drink the milk for a couple of weeks until the milk is clear of all penicillin. That's it. But they're going to try to use other means of harming and scaring us. Now, people are asking me, well, our commander, your commander in chief, and Trump is here, so he can stop all that. He's telling you, he's showing you, stop the son of a guns. He can't stop everybody. Fauci's still trying to get away with it. Now, in some countries, okay, Bill Gates and Fauci there's a bounty on them in some of the countries, so they can't enter those countries anymore. Okay, Trudeau cannot even enter India. There's a bounty on him now too. Okay, because he brought cocaine, not a little bit. He bought a pallet, and he's trying to sell it in India. Okay, what do you think at Jagmeet Singh? Okay, Jagmeet Singh's not allowed to come back to his own country. You know why? Because he's part of Air India. Air India bombing. Okay, he was part of it in the past. He got pardoned, but all his people died in the plane. He got away with it, and yet he's our NDP leader, or not my NDP leader, but he's an NDP leader representing Canada. Think about it, folks. Do their history, do the research. A lot of your people that want to be candidates under the Liberal different decisions. I mean, you got Gould, you got a few other people. They're all parts of the Liberal Party. Every one of them are part of the WEF. Okay, they're all part of the World Economic Forum. You don't even vote for them. They want to depopulate you too. Their goals of, I can do better than this. I can do better. I can do it. I can do it. I'm better than you. Oh, yeah, I made him look really bad. You know what? Pierre Poilievre was also part of the WEF. But Pierre Poilievre did not know at the beginning. He actually admitted it. He says, I was there thinking I was doing the right thing. But when I found out later that there was corruption there, he said, I walked away from it. He removed himself from that party. Okay. The other ones that are part of the Liberal Party did not remove themselves. They're still on it. They're still part of the board. Their name is registered. Even Chrystia Freeland. She's just going off and enjoying the idea that she's going to be part of that. I want to be the Liberal leader. I'm going to be the next prime minister. No, you're not. You're going to be behind bars soon. You're in trouble too. So the thing is that we have to begin to see with our eyes open. Things will get better. But we need to say no to these idiots. And they're going to try to play the game and have you believe that our animals need to be taken out. Now, they're also talking about taking your puppies and kitty cats away from you too. Okay? Even domestic birds that you have in your home. They're going to be talking, how do we know these animals are going to have it too? Do not let them enter your home. Period. You're going to hear about it. They tried to do that back in 2004. They tried to come into my home and they want to take away my animals. And I said, no, you're not. And they want to take people to hand over all their little domestic birds in their house. And these are hazmat suiters showing up. And I actually stood outside and I was the one that actually spoke for them in the neighborhood. And I came out there and I had a baseball bat in my hand. My wife can tell you. I had a baseball bat in my hand. And here's two guys in hazmat suits with little name tags. And they were going to take these people's birds from them. And I said, get your ass off this property and out of this neighborhood, or you're going to walk in, you won't be walking home. You'll have busted knees and never walk again. Get the hell out of here. You have no right to be here. We have the right to be here. We have to collect these animals because we're told to. I said, you have no documentation to prove it. All you're here to do is to depopulate. I know who you are. You're not worthwhile even to listen to. And they're in their masks and their face shields. They're walking like they thought the authority, right? And I had my stick like this, and I said, one more move in someone's house, because he was this one guy opening the gate. He's going to walk in and get the bird from the guy. And the lady goes, no, I'm not going to give you my bird. I said, no, don't give him your bird. That's what they want. They want to make you believe that you have to give up everything. You give up your human rights, then that's exactly to take advantage of you. I said, you get your ass off this property. Go now. Don't ever come back here again, because if I see you here, I'm busting knees. And I've done it before. Well, if you attack me and hurt me, I'll put you in behind. You'll be going to prison. I said, been there, done that. You don't scare me. What? Been there, done that. They don't scare me. So they freaked out. They got scared. I said, I've done worse than that. I've busted knees before. So are you going to walk now? Get in your car. Don't come back. We'll be back. I said, no, you're not going to come back. I don't care how many people you got. Even if you've got police officers with you, I'll let them know what's going on. That you threatened us. Okay? You threatened our lives. Then you're going to think different. Because I will actually have the police officers charge you for threatening our lives. And you'll go to jail. You can't prove that. I said, watch me. I've learned the law. I know exactly what I can do. I tell people this, learn your laws to protect you. Ain't nobody taking my kitty. Nope. Coraline, you got 2 baby kitties. Good for you. Hang on to those little ones. Raise them well. Yeah, maybe don't buy pets from stores. Anyone, those pets are documented. You can get kittens from some really good stores. Even pet food supply stores, they're American owned here. And I tell people, all your pet food supply stores will be American owned. You're going to actually stop giving your cat animal food, because every store you're going to go to, you're putting them out of business. There are some mom and pop businesses that actually they're from Canada, that sell their items to these pet food supply stores. You're putting all these mom and pop businesses out of business because you want to boycott American companies. The American companies are not at fault. It's your freaking government that's causing all this trouble. Yeah. So, okay, let's go further here. What country are we really living in? Now, Canadian tariffs. Now, is this something to cry about, or is it going to help us in Canada? Trust me, we're going to do well. Do we remove all the American goods off the shelves so we can put the companies out of business, or why? And why? Is it really Trump's fault, even though he came in later as the president and the tariffs were much higher when Biden was president? It's true. Biden's tariffs were higher. He was 50%. Trump was 25%. Think differently, folks. I'm telling you, you guys are not paying attention. You're always blaming Trump first. It was never his fault. It was anybody who was there before him were the bad ones. And then after the bad ones leave, they blame everything on him. I'm not protecting Trump. I'm showing you, no matter, I don't care who the guy was that became president. It's how the person came in. The same thing happened to Kim Campbell. Okay, when she was prime minister of our country, she only lasted for 6 months. Why? Because someone before her who was prime minister had a crooked record and did some very bad dealings. Got themselves investigated. And what'd they do? They escaped away and left the files for Kim Campbell to take care of. What happens? There was a screw up. What'd they do? The men blamed Kim Campbell. Said she couldn't do the job, so she was cornered. They blamed her for the last prime minister's problem. What he had done. He screwed people horribly. He screwed our country horribly. And blamed Kim Campbell. Now you tell me they're doing the same thing with Trump. Watch carefully, folks. I'm not kidding you. Okay. What do we can do to solve this issue? Are we heading into that direction, into the 51st state? Yes, we are. End of March. It's going to come. I'm not kidding you guys. It's going to begin. It's a deadline to make a decision. Do we accept more carbon taxing from Mark Carney if elected, as if he's Liberal leader? And he's also destroyed other countries. Farmers being forced to shut down their farms due to new rules and licensing, and they have to work for the World Economic Forum or they go broke. And do we stand up and fight against that evil leader called Carney and Schwab and Trudeau? Can we live as a sovereign country without an elected leader that costs us billions? It costs us billions of dollars and gives it away to the Ukraine to go to war with Russia, against Russia. Now, our prime minister wants to follow the Ukraine and join them. And why? It's because it's not our fight. Prime Minister Trudeau invested in the war, and he now wants his money's worth, plus more world news. Okay, now basically, I want to let you guys know this. Like I said before, I love doing spiritual stuff. I really do. And I love working and knowing and telling you what I see in the future. This is my work. I've always been doing this for many years. You can listen to all the people all you want, and you listen to their story, but you're going to have your own opinion. Every one of you. Even my wife's entitled to her own opinion. She can get mad at me all she wants and not like, my wife doesn't like Trump. She hates him, or she dislikes the guy because she doesn't know what really went on. All she knows is what they tell you, what you see on the mainstream media. But eventually you're going to see the truth. Now, you don't have to like the guy. It's not because Trump is the president. It's how your country is led by a leader, okay? And if you're actually seeking freedom and freedom of speech, being part of the U.S., being part of the United States gives you free speech. You do not have free speech in Canada. You never had free speech in Canada. You've never had the freedom of movement in Canada. Never did. That was removed. Taken away. Why do you think Trudeau passed the Military War Act? Because he's making sure you had no freedom of speech. So the police officers, policy officers can grab you and take you to jail and leave you there for as long as they want, and you can't do nothing about it. Because they keep you as a corporation and hidden away so the public doesn't see you. And then they pay off the mainstream media to make sure that if they do a story on you, they make you look like you're the bad guy and they're the good guys. Oh, well, they wouldn't lie to us. The police wouldn't lie to us. And the government wouldn't lie to us. Yes, they've been lying behind their backs in front of you all the time. You guys have been every Canadian has been spoiled freaking rotten. You laid back and thinking they're going to take care of you. You're being babysat for how long? That day was going to come because you owe them a debt. And now you owe them more. Because now they can take whatever they want from you because you let them. That's why. Now, how do you get out of it? You got to say it. You tell them. I stand with the USA. I stand on this ground, the sovereign, or you stand on the sovereign land. They cannot touch you. And if they ask you if they say, were they going to give you a ticket? I do not accept your contract, because when they give you a ticket, it's a contract. You never agreed to the contract. Okay? And then these are stupid tickets. Oh, you can't honk your horn. It's illegal to honk a horn. There's no illegal to honk a horn. And they hand you the paper, I won't accept your contract. What happens? Sometimes they're going to rough you up. Let them rough you up. As long as it's recorded, let them record you. Okay? Or you get recorded, make sure you have a second person with you. If you get roughed up a little bit, fine. Make sure it's recorded. Guess what? Those people that roughed you up are going to be losing their job, and they're going to be sued. And guess what? You will have money in your bank account. And they wish they never messed with you, because then again, you can go after the person personally, the one that roughed you up, and you go after his family. Now you can sue him too. And they're not going to like it to lose their job. And they're not going to like it when they start losing all their money in their bank account. They wish they never messed with you. These policy officers think they can do whatever they want. You guys can't do crap. Your job is supposed to follow a law to protect people. You're supposed to protect us, not your government. You're here to protect us. But if you are wanting to protect your government, then you're not protecting your government. You're not protecting us. You are the enemy. And you're actually here to hurt us. Why do you think people are having civil wars amongst each other? And why is there civility in the streets? And we're trying to stand up for our rights, freedom of speech, freedom of rights, and exposing the truth. They don't want you to see the truth. They don't want you to expose the truth in the streets. They don't like it. They hate it. Governments hate that. When you expose them, they're going to go, they'll either run and hide, or and if you want to interview them, anybody who's a journalist want to interview them, I don't want to talk. No, I'm not going to talk to you. No, I'm not talking to you. And I walk away. But if they choose you, CBC or CTV, they'll choose you and they'll interview that person, but you can't ask them certain questions. And if you ask them certain questions, no, you're done with it. They want to tell you what they want you to record. Okay. But if you ask them a little slight question that, say, for example, say someone got beat up, a citizen who got beat up in the street, and you place that order to have that citizen beat up, and that CTV or CBC person asked you, why did you ask that person to be beat up? Or why did they get beat up by the officer? And most of the time, these guys will say, well, no comment, or I don't want to talk about it, or no, they try to walk away. They know they're guilty. Okay. And these politicians, they're going to be going bye-bye really soon. Yeah, your tariffs were much higher than Biden. 50%. Biden had 50% tariffs. We are on 25. It got dropped. Now, Trump does not want to tariff us at all. He doesn't want to do it. He was trying to hold back as long as he could. But Trudeau is trying to play the con game. Why do you think he's flying down to Mar-a-Lago twice to meet Trump? Why twice? Because even Trudeau said, Trudeau said we can't afford the tariffs. Why? Because he says I already handed all the billions of dollars to the Ukraine to keep the war going. If you guys look up online, you'll start seeing all these monies that our Canadian government's been handing over, billions of dollars, billions, to other countries. For what? It has nothing to do with military, just some sort of program and a lot of it's also to do with LGBTQ. Oh, well, we want them to just survey. They're all surveys. Millions and billions of dollars for surveys. They're all surveys. Surveys of what? Had nothing to do with our country. All that money should be actually put out here in Canada for the people that don't have money. Okay? That should be helping the homeless. Oh, no, we don't. No. The homeless are just a practice spot. We want the homeless not to live long enough. We want them to be and after the homeless are not here, we save money because we don't even have to bury them anymore. That's exactly what your government's doing. They don't care about us. I mean, when they talk about that song, they don't care about us. Michael Jackson wrote that song. He meant that song specifically. They don't care about us. They never did. He's showing you that's a song he wrote. They don't care about us. And then he was doing that march like the military. No, he's right. That's exactly what they're doing. They don't care about us. You're not part of the club. Like George Carlin said the same thing. You're not part of the club. If you don't have the billions, you're not part of the club. If you don't join Epstein Island, you're not part of the club. Guess what? Epstein Island got exposed. The list is open now. I got pictures. I got copies of all of the files. A long list of them, of all the names. That's part one. Apparently, there's supposed to be three of those binders, and those are wide binders. You guys see in the beginning of the show, 3 large binders of Epstein Island. These are telling you it's crazy, folks. And there's a lot of actors and actresses that were forced to be there, and they don't want to be exposed, but they all said, they were questioned. Every one of them were questioned already. Oh, lots of them are on it. by the hundreds, like all over the world, like not hundreds, thousands, all over the world. I mean, there's famous people, politicians, you name it, royal families, they're all in the books. Epstein he confessed, he actually, Epstein had that already set up. Now, how come Epstein list was so available? Let me think that. Epstein's list was so available and he confessed on everything. Maybe because Epstein's not dead. Maybe because he decided to hand over all of the proof, all the people's names who were part of this to put this whole thing together. That's the only way you'd find anybody would find out. The only way. And he opened up and told. And then there's also, who was his partner? Ghislaine Maxwell. She opened up too. And she's like, to keep herself alive, so she wouldn't be taken. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell she could have easily been prosecuted under military tribunal. She could have been gone, or whichever how you want to say it, but she didn't. She gave them evidence. So that's how you do it, folks. Nobody was tortured. They just said, these are all here. I got the list here, all the people that you want to know. So Epstein himself didn't die. That was a setup, because he knew he was in danger. He knew he would not be taken out. They wanted him. I already know who wanted him out. That would have been Hillary. Hillary wanted him taken out because she knew too much. And Big Mike, which is Obama's man-wife, wanted him out also out of the way, because Obama was there too. So were the Bushes. Okay, they're on the list. So we'll see. A lot of people don't know that this is happening. No, they don't. They have no idea. See, in Canada, nobody pays attention to the American stuff. They don't. There's a lot of Canadians. There's a lot of Canadians on that list. Okay, I'm not kidding you guys. So, and actually, I will say this. Trudeau, yes, Trudeau is actually on the list many times. He's been on that island many times. He's been on there all the time. Both him and his wife, they've been there all the time. He had no kids back then. He had babysitters taking care of them, and he went to Epstein Island, and he was there for the whole weekend or whatever they're doing. He's there all the time. He's been with little boys and little girls all the time. Okay, now let's see. Linda says, anyone notice that C. Freeland is speaking better? Her speech flows now. Soon they won't be able to walk in the street. They forgot that they live here as well. Not much surprises me anymore. If it is a waste of money to have another federal election, hopefully we'll all be gone before the election can take place. I don't think there would be an election. I don't feel so. I think there's going to be a waiver of that. They're going to put a scare tactic in it. They'll probably have a holdover. The proroguing will have cabbage rolls and kubasa. Pierogi. Ukrainian. No, Trudeau did not really step down. He said he thought about stepping down. He didn't really step down. Trudeau didn't step down. He's still prime minister. But he's not calling himself Prime Minister Trudeau. He's calling himself prime minister now. So he's not identifying as who is the prime minister. Who'll be running the country? Our commander-in-chief. He's been running this country now for a little while now lately. He's been watching us, and certain people are actually steering Poilievre to help put it into its perspective. So, because if you guys don't know, I'm going to show you. Let's see if I got it. I'll pull up the file. Give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can find it quickly here. Open. Come on. Okay. First of all, I'm going to show you guys this as a reminder. This is called the American Corporation, registered in Washington, D.C. Okay, you guys remind, I did show this before, but I'll show this again one more time. This is actually this is factual truth. An American corporation, okay, registered in Washington, D.C. on July the 1st, 1867 as a judicial state of D.C. We are under the American politics, or under American government. District of Columbia Code 50-1301-36-2. Definition of State of DC. Supreme Court of Corporate Canada ruled. Okay. Canada, when referred to in Section 91 of the Void 1893 British North America Act 1867, does not refer to Canada as a geographical unit, but refers TD, Canada, as a jurisdic federal unit, not geographical. Interpretations Act Section 35. Definitions: Canada, for greater certainty, includes the internal and territorial waters. Okay. Maxim in law, inclusio unius este exclusio alterius. Now, this is actually in Latin. The inclusion of one is the exclusion of the all others. Whoever does Latin, the Americans do. Canada is just water, commerce, not landmass. In fact, all recorded law, all addresses, and legal persons' surname persons are purdy, juridical, fictitious creatures of statute. Don't exist in reality. Fact, law, or nature, states of the mind, not of material fact. Ye cannot live in or on Canada, as it is an impossibility. In fact, ye live in ye body, domicile and or sojourner on the earth, in fact, known as originally as Turtle Island, and internationally recognized as, but not factual. North America, purely juridical constructs, in fact, of law. Okay, now you guys know we're not originally Canadian. Okay. We are Canadian. We call ourselves Canadians, but we are more than that. Now, where would I put it? So let's see here. I put that inside of this one. Nope. That one here. And I put it here. I think I put it up here. So, geez, guys, what do you see? Those two guys are working together, have always been the only two men that can save North America. Okay. It says, make America great again, make Canada great again. These two have been working together. You see, this is real. This is not AI, folks. This was, they've been seeing each other in Mar-a-Lago for a lot. See, Trump, Poilievre, make America and Canada great again, 2024. This is when the election was supposed to happen, but Trudeau changed it. You were supposed to have an election 2024, but Trudeau changed all that. So now you know it really happened. That's, if you're going to have a leader, and possibly a governor, would be Poilievre. So, but I don't see it being prime minister. Again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. We have to basically pray and try to let others know when it's time. And, you know, you're going to have a lot of people still not wanting to believe it. You can show them all the evidence you want, But they're going, oh no, anybody can do that. It's all AI. Oh, anybody can do that. It's all AI. Okay, you're going to find out. Oh, I didn't see it on TV. It's not the mainstream media. They didn't talk about it. They won't because they're told not to. But it will come to fruition at the end of March. And when you hear about it and why, you'll make that decision from there. I've noticed too, there's a lot more people now are looking forward to actually are willing to turn towards the United States to be a country, like part of our country, because again, we would be part of the Second Amendment, which is the freedom of speech. Because in Canada, we don't have freedom of speech. We have to have freedom of speech. Now, why we're like, if you look on your Commonwealth, your platform, like, we have a constitution and it should be on that list. Tells you all your freedoms, but there's nothing on there. No freedom of speech. That was removed. Who removed it? Pierre Elliott Trudeau. He removed it. He did not want you to have freedom of speech. He made sure of that when he left. He signed it because he knew his son was going to take over in the future. Well, so to speak, his stepson. So this whole thing, folks, was all planned. Our country has been planned to be downtrodden for the last couple 100 years. But guess what? Ain't going to happen. How many people will leave Canada because they don't like Trump? Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. I'll explain this to you. There is a flag, a national American flag that will be coming out soon. And these other countries will merge also to become a state. And they will, and American flags will have 50 stars right now as we speak. They have 50 stars. By the time they're done, the American flag will have 77 stars. So you'll have 27 more stars added on the national flag. So Trump's not trying to take away Canadians. You're not trying to take away the Canadian people of who we are as far as our identity is concerned. We can still stay Canadian. He just wants to help us to have a better life, more freedom of choice, freedom of speech, more freedom of travel. We don't have to have a border anymore. You don't have to worry about carrying a passport and be allowed to go here and go there. We're merging into. We get to go to Mexico when we want to. We get to go to anywhere in the state line in the United States. You don't have to worry about getting passwords. That's just the way it is. We get to go to where we want. So we're all here to work together as a people, because why would you want to separate United States from Canada when they actually speak the same language? We speak English. We're the same races. We're not foreigners from another European country. We're not like, a specific race. We're all the same. Why are we separating ourselves from the United States and Canada? Because who wanted to make it that way? The British want to separate. The British want to control us. They want to take something from you. A little tiny speck of a freaking pinhead country. A pinhead country wants to take all your rights away from you. How'd they do that? Because you let them walk in. Our ancestors, let them have it. They came right in the back door. We're going to take this. It's going to come to the point we don't need passports. We're going to go. Not facial recognitions, none of that. We're going to go. Just that wall won't be there. You won't have border guards. See you later. Going to go visit so-and-so in the States. Neighbors. Right? Now, why they put up that big, huge wall between Mexico and the United States? That actually is not a wall. That's a harmony. That actually is a sound. That's a harp. When that gets touched and banged, you'll start. It's actually a resonance harp. It actually helps us. It's a healing harp. When you hear it, when they play it, you'll be surprised. But Canada and Mexico will be a part of the same country as well. We'll all be part of Canada, the United States as well. But they're taking all the cartels out first. The military is in there right now taking out the cartels. so you can have a better freedom, more freedom in your own country in Mexico. Same thing, Australia, New Zealand, Greenland, and then, like I said, a few more other countries. We're going to have more freedoms. These people, everyone's going to have more freedoms. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens. I don't hate what he has done. It's not Trump's fault. He's not the one that's putting this whole thing together. There's people that are with him, that are in the military, that are putting this thing in order as well. He's not doing this alone. Okay, you guys thinking that it's just all his fault. It's not his idea. They all agreed. There's guys on there's people that are in the military that are trying to show you something. Let's give back the freedom to the people. Give back the people their own power. That's what this whole thing's about. Why do you think we're going to have martial law? Why do you think you're going to have military in the streets? Military are going to be the new officers. Okay? Don't blame Trump. He's just representation of, and he's only one of them. He's not going to be the only president. He's not going to be the last president. There's going to be another one right after him. Okay? But they're going to represent the new republic. The new republic of 1776, not a corporation. You're not under a corporation. That's what I want to remind you guys. The corporations are gone. So we just have to, I hate to say the words, suck it up and wait for a tiny bit more. Just wait patiently. We're almost done. This ridiculous. I've learned so much, and I feel bad for the folks in the UK. Yeah, the UK, I don't know what's going to happen with them if they become part of the 77 stars. I don't know, but I do know this: Scotland's going to have its own freedom back. They're going to have their freedom and their country back again, because England England won't control Scotland anymore. So I know, because there was a man who was very strong, Sean Connery, who actually made a statement before he left us, so to speak. And Sean Connery said that in his wishes, he's always wanted Scotland to be free again. And guess what? Sean Connery's still alive, and he's working with Trump. So they're going to take back the country. That's why everybody kept on saying that Trump actually is the king of Scotland. Well, if you look at Trump's history, his genealogy, he actually is related to the Scots. In genealogy, he's actually related to the Scots. So, yeah, we shall see. More things going to come up, folks. That would be surprising. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now. Let's see. Heidi says, "Visions, no boners, and we can go anywhere in the world in outer space." Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that we'll get to experience, folks, in this lifetime. It's going to be phenomenal. People are actually picking on Elon Musk right now. They're going, "Oh, Elon Musk is not this, and Elon Musk is going to do that." Well, here's my own opinion. The real Elon Musk, I never trusted. This other new Elon Musk 2.0, if you look at there was a time that he was actually in the White House with Trump, standing next to him, and this little boy X was playing with his face. Did you notice that his mask was being pulled on, and you could see the creases? Like the kid was like grabbing him, and it was like wrinkling up as he's pulling on his face. And he says, and he's going like, "No, don't do that, don't do that." And you can see the pinching. So X is actually not his real boy, or is he? You'll find out. That little boy has an X. That X means something. Okay, like people say X marks the spot. There's a reason why that little kid's there. He's part of the distraction. Watch. Did you hear the question and answer caller on news treason that described what is going on as a 3-act movie? It was very sensible. This is the 3rd act, and with the twist when the audience sees who is in the enemy. You're going to find out, folks. I'm telling you. You're going to find out stuff that's going to blow you away. Absolutely. Now, before I forget, I want to bring this up before I end this night. We are going through a timeline. We still have always been going through timelines. Most of you guys are noticing now that, for example, I saw this movie promotion, and there was an actor in there, and I thought, wait a minute here. The guy he played the guy who was running a hotel when John Wick, the movie. Okay, there's a series of John Wicks. Keanu Reeves plays John Wicks. Now, the guy who runs the hotel. Now, the guy who plays the character who runs the hotel was supposed to have passed away 2 years ago of cancer. I saw the editorial, like he passed away. Then I see this new movie come out. There he is. I go like, wait a minute here. I just saw him. And I looked for his obituary. He's not dead now. All of a sudden, he's like alive. I go like, no, 2 years ago he died, but now he's alive. I go like, okay, timeline. We are twisting again. We're going back into more timelines where things are being delayed. Things have not happened. We're twisting here. There's a little bit of twist. There's a little bit of binding. We're not experiencing the past anymore. We're still going through almost like a levitation. Some people will say, I don't know why I feel so disoriented, or I had a hard time sleeping. Why you're going through a hard time sleeping is because you're going through timeline shifts. And you either are shifting here, or you're shifting here, or shifting here. Myself, for example, I'm playing 3 lives. I'm the old Derek back there, whoever I was married to with. That's my one old timeline. Then there's another Derek who's actually married the second time, that's going through his timeline. Okay, what if he stayed with his wife back then, that second night? Now I got this wife, but yet my timeline is, okay, I'm the psychic here. Back then I was a farmer. Okay, today my timeline is we are still in the same line, but we are making new decisions to better our path. So my timeline now is shifting, because there's people that I've heard from many stories have said to me, they actually went through a timeline where they saw President Trump actually in jail, and they said he was in jail for 4 years and already is serving time in prison. That there's a new president. And yet and when the lady showed up in her view, when she was making a recording, she goes like, she was in tears. She goes, I can't figure this out. She goes, I'm here, but I was over there. She goes, I remember when Trump was I remember when I saw where I was supposed to be, he was already in prison. This one here, he's not in prison, but he's a good guy. You see what I mean? So we're going through timeline shifts. We're shifting. And back in 1989, the real Donald Trump was supposed to die in the helicopter crash. Now that's that timeline. Then someone says, oh, well, someone pretended to be Donald Trump and took over this person's life and say, well, he's the one that's playing the president. Well, that's the one that was in jail for 4 years. But this one here, this Trump here now is not that past Trump. This is a better Trump. People need to remember too, Donald Trump actually is a time traveler. Time traveler. Him with the Kennedys, they're time travelers. So, and I've actually seen pictures, photographs of Donald Trump in the future as an older man watching himself in the platform, and another Donald Trump who actually is a couple of days less than him or younger than him, watching him on the platform doing his talk. So why all of a sudden there's a Trump here and a Trump here? I got photographs of 4 different Trumps in the same video, in the same photograph. One's older by another 10 more years. Okay? Because he's a time traveler. He's trying to fix the timeline. Yes, that is one of the reasons why you're so tired all the time, Heidi. Because your spirit is learning to shift in the timelines. I'm going through it a lot. My wife feels it. She says she gets so disoriented. And she goes, I don't know why I can't even sleep. I said, because you're going through the timeline with me. We're shifting. Okay. And even Teresa says, yes, she's, I'm too. See, that's the reason why. That's right. That's exactly what's happened. Teresa's answering you. Teresa Ward actually says, yes, I'm too. So all you guys are here, all part of the timeline shifting. Okay. We're not shifting like the odd person. We're shifting differently. So like you feel like you're losing time. It's true. Like I said to my wife, I feel like I was like, wasn't it just yesterday I saw something here and all of a sudden now I'm over here. Like I said, man, time's gone so by. It's gone by so fast. Like I swore it was the middle of the month. All of a sudden now we're here. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Here's where I am. So yes, Heidi, and it takes me hours to get my ass off the bed too. That's the reason why if I went to bed early, it's hard for me to sleep. When I go to bed, I'm not in bed until about maybe 3 or 4 in the morning because I don't know why. I just can't go to bed early. So I work late at night. I work in my office. I do my crafts. I'm working on another puppet, by the way. I'm working on another commission job for a young boy, a rabbit. I'm doing a rabbit for him right now. So I'm making a puppet. And, and also we forget, there was a good man that just passed away today, Adam Krittinger, and he actually was a puppeteer. He actually used to teach people. He used to go on YouTube and taught people online how to make puppets. Like he's apparently. My wife did the autobiography on him, or checked on his autobiography. He's been doing it since he was like 19, 20 years old, and he passed away of brain cancer at the age of 37. 37. He had 2 kids and a wife, and he just passed away today. Everybody was in shock. They were hoping that Adam would have been still here, hoping they'd still be here for a long time. But he ended up having 2 brain surgeries. Now, where did he come with brain cancer? Adam's a school teacher. What happens when you become a school teacher? You have to line up to get your in the arm. Adam got his in the arm, and that's why he got brain cancer, because there has been a lot of people who actually got the in the arm and got brain cancer. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. And it caught up to him. Now, I know very well if Adam didn't have that, he would still be here. So I feel bad for the family. I feel bad for the fact that they lost a good man who actually he brought a lot of pleasure, and even for me, because if it wasn't for Adam, I never would have been able to make my puppets, because I learned a lot from him. Watching him online each day, there's always learning how to make a different kind of body part, make a head and a body part, and how to do the features and that sort of thing, and how you want to make them creative. And he helped influence my bringing that inner child in me out. That I've always wanted to make a puppet when I was a kid, or be a puppeteer, because I remember watching not just the I think because I watched puppeteers and ventriloquists, more like ventriloquists, since I was a kid. I mean, I'm from the 1950s. So I watched Howdy Doody and all that. I mean, some of their stuff like that. So I remember watching puppets, and I thought, okay, that'd be kind of cool to do that. When you become a ventriloquist, it's a little bit different compared to just making puppets. I'm adding both features at the same time. So I've been working on my dragon, and I got my dragon all done. That guy's up there is all done. So I'll be working with him now to see if I can get him a voice, and I already named him. And maybe next week I'll bring him up. But you guys may have seen the videos, but I've actually been working on him. And he's the one that he'll sit across from me, like he's on my chest, and I put his hand from behind, and his head runs up this way, like so. So his wings are facing outwards, as if he's clinging on my body. That's how I'm going to have him. So I'm working on later on down the road. We'll get the fake arm made. We'll be holding him up and that all. But so far, I'm really pleased making my first dragon. And the more you practice making some cool things, and this guy was simple. I'm not simple. I mean, he took time to make. It took me a month and a half to get him done. I can make it say right here. Swing around. Hang on. Swing. If you haven't seen him, this is what he looks like. Okay, that's what it looks like. So, that's what I'm working on right now. Like I said, he came how I got him started um, was I was a lady friend of mine who actually is a puppeteer herself. She makes puppets too, but what she had done, uh, she doesn't make the bigger ones like I do, and she really liked what I was making, and so she bought one of my puppets, my big sack puppet, and she bought it from me. And then she had something that she had at home, and she brought it with her when we were doing Christmas craft fair last year Christmas, and I was there selling too as well, my stuff, and I was walking around with my puppets at the same time, and then she says, "I got this dragon thing. It's like it came from Disney apparently. A kid, I guess a little kid had it, and then they don't wear it no more because they grew out of it. Looked like a pair of pajamas, one like a bodysuit, but it had a dragon head on it, and it's actually supposed to be part of the one of the series with the curved horns, right? So I thought, well, I'll see what I can do with it. I'm not sure. And she said, maybe you can make a puppet out of it. So I was playing around. Okay. So I took it home, left it on my counter back there, and I was working on some items. And I thought, you know what? It's past Christmas now, and now I'm going to start working on puppets. So I thought, okay, I'll sit down and see what I can do with this guy. I slowly start taking him apart, and that's what I made out of him. Now, not all the material could have done all that. There's no way. Pardon me. But I had to. What I did do to go really detailed. Look at the scales in this guy. I did scales on his back and his tail. That's all done in leather. I mean, I make him look like as if he's a real authentic dragon. And so I have been like, my creative juices is coming out of me. And that's what I've been trying to do is just have fun. But what it does, it takes the like it just helps relax me, and I enjoy being creative. And like I would, for years I was doing indigenous crafts for the longest time, and there's a part of me that still like I didn't want to do anymore. I wanted to make something different. I want to do something more creative, something more of me that I've always wanted to fulfill. And I got a lot of my other European background, my family, and I thought I always loved dragons, and I've always wanted to make one. And so I thought, you know what? I can make myself a dragon. Well, that one there. Now I want to make a shoulder dragon. Want to go across your shoulder, the tail, and the whole thing this way. Now I'm gonna be working on that one down the road. But I want to get this other commission job done first. And I'm making a rabbit for this kid. He's actually autistic. So he's 19 years old, but he's got a mind of a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Or 8-year-old. So he wanted, his mom and dad said, can you make this from my son or make a rabbit for my son? So the son gave me, or the son wanted certain details on the picture. So this is what I'm working on. There's the picture. This is what he wants. It's all those colors. That's what he wants, and those are his requests. So I'm working on that right now. Yeah. Nice fellow. What can I say? This is the character I'm working on right now on that rabbit. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing more. I mean, I love making. So that's why I said Adam Crittinger, actually, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing that. And I did a little bit of a story thanking him on his page, his puppet page on Facebook and all that too. So I'm going to miss the guy because I remember watching all his videos. But if anybody ever wants to see anything, Adam Crittinger, Krutinger, you'll see he does step-by-step and teach you how to make your own puppets. If you guys are interested and even want to start, you make one for yourself personally, it's worth it. Something for just to use it for your grandkids maybe or children. You never know. Something to have in the house, but you made it yourself. It's creativity. Like your hands need to be kept busy, and that's for me. I've always wanted to keep my hands busy. I'm 68 years old, and I'm still the kid. I'm still a kid. Won't grow up. I won't quit. So that's us. What can I say? We're like to have some fun sometime. I don't quit. So, anyways, I appreciate you guys watching and sharing what we're doing. Oh, what's this here? She said, okay, I did see that one. Okay, appreciate you guys. We're gonna let you guys go. Be good to each other. May God be with you all. And please like and share me on YouTube. If you've actually been on the YouTube page, please like and share, hit the bell, blah blah blah, the whole 9 yards. So then you know that I've actually been in that room. Keep on liking it as much as you can, so I can get. I like to one day. I like to see 1,000 hits. I'm also on Rumble as well. And if you want to get the recording of it, you're more than welcome to. Please like and share that as well on Rumble. Also, I'm also on, again, True North Strong and Free on the Telegram page. If you guys have never joined on Telegram, it's worth your while. It says, hey, Derek, get a hold of me, or say, hey, Derek, I joined the page. I want to go on your page and be a part of the group, and I'll update you guys. I'm going to work on, see if I can do some chat room out of it too, and see if people come in to join the chat room. And there's other chat rooms, other chat rooms with some really great people you can have a chat with too. If you have time in your hands, you want to listen in and join in, you're more welcome to. It's like a lot of fun to do. Take some time on. It's like time off your shoulders if you feel like you need a chat. Okay, guys, take good care of each other, and talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. Apparently, the weather's supposed to be really good for this weekend. We shall see. Have fun, guys. Peace.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight?
Weird. That was weird. Okay. Go figure. See what happens when you do a show.
There's one sea, one time, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we always gotta learn to live together. Peace, peace, alright. Isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. All right, peace, peace together. Peace.